The Age of War Chapter 3 is right around the corner, and if you want to be best prepared for this update, there's a few things you'll need to do. Today I'll be giving you a sort of brief checklist of things that I think you should have ready so that you can enjoy the Age of War Chapter 3 as best as possible. There's a lot of micromanaging stuff we could be doing, but we're not going to bog ourselves down too much with that. We're going to go for the main staple points and what you should have prepared. First of all, the Tavern System. This is going to be a core component of your base and of Conan Exiles in the future in general. If you haven't already, you'll probably want to have a room or a building laid out and ready for the tavern itself. This doesn't have to be particularly large, and it can be basically whatever you want. It just needs to have a bit of space for the tavern counter. Now, to actually get your tavern functioning, you will need a barkeeper. These come from the Purge, and you'll be able to free them from the cages in the Purge camps as you could before with Iskar the Sellsword. I haven't heard of or found myself a consistent barometer of what Purge level you should aim for to find that barkeep, so I imagine it will be a bit hit or miss on release day as to which sort of level of Purge you should target. Therefore, you'll want to ensure that your gear's all repaired, your healing pots are brewed, your base is defended, your thralls are leveled and geared, all that good stuff. Basically, just ready yourself to take on the Purge. Once you've found the barkeep, she will teach you how to build the bar counter, which you can then construct and place inside your tavern. Then just put the barkeep behind the counter and your tavern is open. This is a new core system coming into Conan Exiles that seems to be sort of the linchpin for how stories will be told in the future, and I imagine this feature is only going to expand more and more with every single update. However, the biggest stumbling block to getting into it is indeed getting your hands on a barkeeper, so once you've got them, you're pretty much set. On a half similar point, it would be a good idea to stock up on some treasure. The barkeeper will sell you various food and drinks, but that doesn't cost too much, whereas being able to hire Iskar the Sellsword to come over to your tavern will indeed cost you some coin. The same is true for hiring the new NPCs that will appear there, so you'll want to have a decent chunk of money on hand. You can do this by converting your treasure value into coins, and to be honest, it probably won't be too hard to build up a decent supply. However, if you're a little bit threadbare in terms of coins at the moment, I would make sure you've got at least some treasures in there. Additionally, for the Purge, there is one new loot item in the pool, and that is the Archer Post. These are small arrow quivers that can be snapped into a crenellated wall, and then you'll be able to station an archer onto that post to basically stand there like a turret and shoot at whoever would approach your base. Additionally, you can also add fighters or archers to siege cauldrons to mount them and basically dumbfire them as soon as an enemy gets within the radius. The siege cauldrons are already in the loot pool, but the archer post will be available both as an individual drop at lower Purge difficulties and as a crafting schematic at higher Purge difficulties. Of course, the other big feature you'll want to prepare for is the Siege of Al-Merayah. There's a new castle erected by the Stygians over where the ruins of Al-Merayah once sat, and if you want to get the goodies inside, you will have to besiege it. This is a pretty tough encounter, at least judging from what we saw in the beta client, so you'll definitely want to outfit yourself with the best gear you have, or your best healing potions and supplies, and of course you'll want some raiding gear, be that explosives or one of the battering rams you can find around the ruins. You can also purchase a battering ram from Iskar the Sellsword, or at least you could in the beta client, so if you tackle the Purges first in preparation for the tavern, that's a good way to save yourself some time. I will say, don't worry too much about making tons and tons of explosives. There are a fair amount inside the walls, and I think this is more than flexible enough where you don't need to come in with 40, 50, 60 explosive jars. However, definitely outfit yourself with the best gear you can find. It's kind of hard to give any more recommendations for the PvE Siege, and that's mainly because we know that there's going to be some changes between the public beta and the live game. In general, we can probably expect more enemies, possibly more loot, and definitely more archers, so this encounter may get even tougher than it is on the public beta client. The best advice I can give you is grab some friends, grab your best gear, and most importantly just have a good time, because the Siege is undoubtedly really fun. Finally, a very minor point, but if you are a spear user and you use any of the following spears, that is the Spire, the Reach of the Warrior, Nikosi's Pike, Pike of Prince Craxus, War Spear of the Black Circle, Spear of the Grey Ones, or the Kingslayer Polearm, they will have a new moveset. I'm not a big fan of spears, but I have tried them out and I will say I really like the new moveset, and it actually kind of makes me want to use them, considering that I really find spears mostly ungratifying in Conan, but besides, just don't be caught unawares if you use these weapons and all of a sudden you're swinging the tip around like a greatsword. And I think that about wraps up everything you'll need to prepare for the Age of War Chapter 3. This update brings a lot of interesting things, but it's not things you can jump into straight away, so you'll definitely want to prepare yourself and be ready for when the Age of War Chapter 3 drops, and then you can dive into that new content. Thank you for watching, and of course, a massive thanks to our wonderful esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. I'll be covering all the things Age of War Chapter 3 and onward, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Additionally, if you're looking for some snazzy tavern designs, I will also have some more of those up pretty soon alongside reviews of the new Bazaar bundles. Again, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.